Hi, this is Ricky Sun. I'm a system integrator as well as a specialist of the Pi system. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what is a historian. And maybe to start, everyone knows what is a video recorder. You may have some camera looking at outside to monitor your security. Let's pretend someone trying to steal a car outside, and then one day the police ring your doorbell because you got a video camera outside and they ask you for footage. Then you would be able to show them what was going on, when exactly the thief steal the car, what does he look like. Everything is in the recording, and then that can help the police write the story of what was going on and for this event, this case, right? And same for historian. Historian is to store data, for example, temperature of my room. Right now is 20 degrees in my house and 11 o'clock, for example. It can store these time series data as the days go in, and it won't stop unless the sensors broke or the historian is malfunction or whatever. Let's pretend you have a piece of equipment operating. There is a lot of information is storing for this piece of equipment. You can look at the history of what was going on, and for real time, if it is stopped, you will be able to tell it is stopped. And if you want to do some predictive maintenance, then you can kind of look at different variable of your piece of equipment and see, maybe this pump is not as efficient as like 2 years ago. So you can kind of tell by the throughput or the pump curve. You can compare things, right? And you are the expert on it. I'm not the expert on your piece of equipment, but we can assist them. So just to tell you, the historian is a time series database, and it stores time series data. It can extract this data very quickly. You want to look at a week, a month, a year, maybe 10 years, or like, I don't know, 30 years people do. Right, then it'll be very quick. If it compare to SQL, if you store your time series data in an SQL database, it will be very slow. But a lot of SCADA system come with a historian, which is a table kind of format for you. They will tell you you are supposed to buy a historian. The historian is good for an extent. If it get too large, you want to do too much, then it will be disappointed. But it is very good at controlling an HMI, right? Control your equipment remotely using the SCADA system. So historian has its place. When I compare historian with video recording, historian look at numbers. If you have like a voltage or amps, if you have pressure, if you have things like you cannot really visualize, right? Unless it has a fire, or you cannot tell from pictures like a video recorder. To know what's going on, you need numbers, and then you kind of need a combination. I think they can coexist, right? Like video recording and a historian combined with AI too, right? AI could look at these data, right, from historian and the video recorder, then in real time processing, and then you would be able to do many things. And historian have its place, and I'm not saying like you have to use the Pi system historian or Canary or different things. And I just, in the point of view of historian, makes sense to put it in a plan because it captures the information you might or might not need. Sometimes you capture it and then somebody asks you what was going on, and then you will be able to tell. You collect more data, then you are able to solve more problems as problems comes out. Maybe like if your company is not really digitalized, then maybe when problem comes out and you're trying to find the information and you couldn't find this piece of information for the events that has happened. For example, if you have emission control, you cannot release too much CO2 into atmosphere, for example. Then you need some kind of way to be able to tell how much emission you did, and then you don't want to get penalty, right? So that may be kind of the reason you put a historian in, and then you kind of give you a notification when you are 50% or 60% hitting the maximum, and then you want to do something about it, right? Or you have people constantly look at these numbers and then trying to find a way to lower the emission of CO2. This will be where the data is coming in, and you want to prevent you get penalty. Right? You hire a person to look at the number to make sure you don't get penalty. This week, I was talking to a production engineer of oil and gas industry, and he told me about like his job, because I'm always curious what they do and how they utilize data, right? And there is process engineer or like production engineer in other companies that don't use data at all, and they just Excel sheet put their numbers in and all that. But this engineer is their company has digitalized their equipment and their plant, so he was able to use the historian to optimize their well performance. He want to get the most out of the wells that he monitored, because that's where his bonus is, right? Like if he get more and then he get more a portion of bonus, he's able to maximize the profit of his company, right? And then he get bonus at the end of the year. But he told me one thing, he tried to optimize, like he used the PI system and he looked at the asset framework and make sure the efficiency is very good. He told me he can only turn it on, like turn the knob to the maximum to an extent and without breaking it, right? That's the point, without breaking it. He actually told me a story about he accidentally break some equipment in the plant because he tried to optimize it too much. He told me he have to immediately call a person from a maintenance technician on site to fix it up, because he lose production when the moment he break it, everything stop, right? So he lose production, and then I'm surprised he is also the maintenance engineer. But I guess a maintenance engineer role is more dedicated to fix things, versus he monitor his own thing and then he makes sure it doesn't break things, right? And then if it breaks, he have to send people to fix it. Of course, he have to look at different assets, different wells, make sure production is like optimized, and he just look at these numbers, high vision, data link, right? These numbers make sure he have his fully utilized well. That's his version of utilizing the PI system data and the historian. You could not do that without looking at the data in the past. And I think machine learning as well. You cannot use machine learning without data, right, in the past. And also, it has to be good data as well. You want to make sure the data you see, it's legit, like good, right? If it is like flat line, maybe like this problem, malfunction of sensors, then people from the Digital Foundation will need to be able to fix up these problematic sensors and streamline the whole way of making sure the data is good before we give it to people for the AI. So that's kind of like my version of what is a historian and why we need a historian. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'll see you next week.